South Korea just bullied another celebrity to date. Another one. It's so sad when you think about it. The tragedy of Kim Sae-ron. Sorry guys, I'm not sure how to pronounce Korean name. So yeah, here we go.
1711, Alexander Pope, an English poet and translator, coined a very popular phrase. To err is human, which meant that it is normal for people to make mistakes. It's part of being a human being. And even though this was over 300 years ago, this remains a popular topic even today. Some of the richest people on the planet will tell you to make—
sorry guys, but his face jump scared me. I was gonna drink water. What? Oh, Mark Zuckerberg? Okay.
as many mistakes as you can so you can learn from them and adapt, because that's what being human
Oh my
is
God, you're
all
so mean.
about. That is, of course, unless you're any sort of celebrity in South Korea. You cannot in any way, shape, or form make any sort of mistake because you're
South
expected
Korea.
to be perfect. The idea here is that if you're privileged enough to become famous, then you are not allowed to be human anymore. You cannot make mistakes, you can't have emotions, you can't fall in love, you can't have a personal life. Why would you? I mean, you're not human, you're a god. And a god is—
No, you're not a god. You're a product to sell. So, you know, product have to stay as product. In Korea?
perfect.
South Korea.
This title in an article by the Korea Herald says it best. Loved like idols, canceled like demons. An idol and a demon could not be more different, and yet, as a celebrity in South Korea, you are constantly swinging between both, with the smallest mistake able to convert you from idol to demon overnight. This extreme shift from being praised like a god to being vilified like the most disgusting human being imaginable, just for being human and making mistakes, has had so many casualties that you'd think they were going out to fight a war. Here's a very common example as to how it all happens. The public finds out that a very renowned actor had substance abuse problems with drugs. Instead of being supportive and hoping that he goes to—
I think this... Wait. Is this actor from Parasite? Yeah, he's one of the victims again, you know, get bullied by the internet of South Korea.
rehab, he's criticized, he's stalked, he's sent hate messages,
Yes.
and eventually he leaves this planet, but it's not over yet. They couldn't even let him
Lee
rest
Sun
properly
Kyung.
because Korean media leaked his
Yeah,
final
the Parasite star.
moments through CCTV cameras on the street, as well as the final note he left his wife, which was private, by the way. One mistake, and he went from one of the most respected actors in South Korea to a vilified demon. This is so ridiculously common, and it happens to such young people that it should practically be recognized at this point as an official part of South Korean culture. So it's no surprise that unfortunately, just very recently on February 17th, 2025, Kim Sae-ron, a well-renowned South Korean actress, had left us at the young age of 24. Now, usually when this happens, because it does happen too often, media outlets try to find someone to blame for more clicks. Who was the cause of this person's death? Sometimes they like to blame another celebrity that was in her circle of friends, and it turns out to be untrue, so that other celebrity also ends up offing themselves. But most of the—
Wait, what? It often happened to another celebrity that got accused of bullying them, but then it's actually not true, but then the celebrity already like off themselves again. Wow.
people online, the South Korean netizens, are blamed, but not much is really done about it because it's a number of people. However, this time, a particular YouTuber is being blamed for the death of Kim Sae-ron. During her funeral, the father of Sae-ron said that this YouTuber right here by the name of Jin-ho was a massive contributor to her ending it all.
I'm very mad because that's actually a trend. Korean YouTuber expose, like quote unquote exposing popular people, like saying all this shit without really evidence or proof. Just pushing the line, guys. Basically, a bully. One of the famous cases is, you know, one of my favorite YouTuber, Zuyang. She again, you know, yeah, I love Zuyang. Her case make me so mad. She got bullied by YouTubers. Her ex-boyfriend, oh bro, that trash. All right, yes, that piece of shit. And all the YouTuber that blackmail her, all that piece of shit too. Anyway, I will find a video talk about her case. Fucking monster, man, yeah.
And for one of the first times ever, we have the media being held accountable in South Korea for the death of someone like this. The BBC reported on this and called it a case of real-life Squid Game. If you ever need just one story to show you just how ridiculously dystopian South Korea's celebrity scene is, then this is the one. So let's get right into it and talk about it. Let's do this. I sincerely apologize for surprising my fans who have supported me. Wow, that's a statement I would expect from someone who did something unforgivable. It was written by a K-pop star back in March 2024. Could you guess what she might have done wrong? I don't know. Did she launch a crypto?
Probably because maybe she smoked or something. Maybe she got take a picture like she's smoking on the street.
Coin? Did she
My
commit
bet
a
is that,
crime?
maybe.
Did she hurt someone? She was in a private relationship. Yep, she did the mistake of falling in love and dating an actor.
That's a death sentence in South Korea if you fall in love because you are a product. Again, you are a product. You are not a living being.
I apologize for surprising you greatly, she said, promising to show a more mature and hardworking side in the future. Bro, it's almost like she showed up to a concert drunk and couldn't sing or something. But no, her fans took this very seriously. She had committed one of the biggest mistakes you could ever imagine, ruining the fantasy.
Silly, yeah, that was like the biggest.
Demented,
case.
Absolutely unhinged fans parked a vehicle in front of her agency that had a massive electronic billboard with the words,
I remember that. It's like years ago, right?
"Is the love given to you by your fans
Not long
not
ago.
enough?" Karina's mistake wasn't that she fell in love. It was that she assumed that she could be
After Jong-hyun. Oh yeah, oh my god, now I remember. Holy shit. It's like back to back. Oh my god. And it's still happening. And then they're gonna repeat, guys. They're gonna be like, oh my god, we lost her so soon.
human now that she's famous. This is the industry that we're dealing with here. And unfortunately for Kim Sae-ron, there was no one to warn her about this because she started so damn young. She was born in the year 2000, and the first ever movie she starred in was in 2009, when she was barely 9 years old. It was a hit, and it showed talent that you very rarely find in a child actor, making it get shown in the Cannes Film Festival, the Toronto Film Festival, the Berlin Film Festival, and winning Best Children's Feature Film at the Asia Pacific Screen Awards. She was a sensation from her first movie, making a name for herself not just in South Korea, but globally as well, which is not easy to do to begin with, and even harder to do when you're 9 years old. From the perspective of a fan, she had everything you could ever wish for. Many people struggle to launch their careers in their 20s, and there she was doing it.
What kind of parents make their kids do this? Great, guys. It is what it is, guys. Great.
And she wasn't even hitting puberty yet. She was meeting some very talented actors, getting to work with some very talented directors and producers, and already able to make a living for herself. So how the hell did we end up here? How could everything go wrong in the span of barely a decade? Well, it starts with her profession. It's no secret, especially now, that being a child actor is probably one of the worst things you can do in your life.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and watched Nickelodeon and Disney, I used to
Usually they get like exploited.
envious of these actors, thinking, wow, it must be so fun. You get to make money, do cool things, and be famous. Who wouldn't want that? Well, if you knew what they had to go through, you would not want any of it.
True.
Having to work slave labor, sometimes 12 hours a day, while your friends were playing football or chilling at home playing video games, you had to navigate the political battlefield of a set. And even worse, you probably also had to avoid a predator who...
Isn't this guy the one people say he got the foot fetish or something? Is that this guy? Yeah, he's like a crib, right? Oh my god.
Was the director or the producer wanting to touch you in different places. It wasn't fun. Now add to this equation the fact that you were in South Korea, and it's also even worse. One of the first controversies that Sae-ron was in was when she was only 13 years old. It all started with a simple post. It was two photos where Kim was sitting with her friends on a sofa, and in front of them there were bottles of wine and wine glasses on the coffee table. In the other photo, Sae-ron is in a karaoke room singing, and one could see a pack of cigarettes not too far from her on the table. The poster of these two photos claimed that Sae-ron was smoking and drinking underage, and obviously that is not a small claim to make at all.
I knew it, guys. I knew it. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's just a small photo, and they'll be like, oh! Here we go, guys. Now we get her, yeah. Now we can get her because I've been hating her because she's so success since she was a child. Now we get a reason to hate her. Let's get it.
All, especially in a society like
Fucking
South Korea.
toxic, bro.
This was an integral moment in her life. This was the first time she realized that no matter what she said or did, people weren't going to believe her once they made up their minds about her. She posted a response, and here's what she had to say. The day that this came up, no matter what I said, no one would have listened. The netizens that write bad comments will pound on their keyboards, accuse and attack until they see the end, which is when they will find interest elsewhere. If I had been good...
Yes. Oh my gosh, she already know. Cancel her. Yeah, they'll be like, oh, we don't actually have other evidence, so it is what it is. And just throw this away and then find a new target to play with.
Those who believe me will believe me. Those who don't know me and are jealous of me will not want to hear anything that is good or the truth. She had to face this harsh realization when she was only 13 years old. I can't imagine going through something like this. I mean, this is when you go through puberty. You don't even know who you are as a person. You're still discovering yourself, and you have people already judging you. Bro. It's insane. And it's not like she had a support structure around her to help her with things like this. When she was older, we found out from her mother that at a certain point, she had taken her and her 2 siblings with her at the edge of the balcony and was about to jump. Sae-ron screamed as loud as possible to convince her mother not to do this, and eventually she thankfully was convinced and didn't end up jumping. If that's not traumatic, then I don't know what is.
Holy shit, that's so private.
She also opened up about how she used to get bullied in school because she was famous, when you would usually expect the opposite to happen. She said, the bullying was pretty intense. They'd write curse words and mean things about me in playgrounds and on the walls on the way home. They'd steal my shoes so I'd have to walk home barefoot. I'd get a call and go outside to see that no one was there, and when I invited everyone for a birthday party, no one showed up. After this, she was asked a follow-up question. Did this make you ever regret becoming an actress? And she said, at first, it was really tough for me, but then I'd be sitting in the theater for my own film, and the moment I saw my name appear in the ending credits, I'd become overwhelmed with joy. Look, it was clear. Practically everything in Sae-ron's life sucked, except for...
Wait, I know her. What? She sang with her brother, right? Akmu. Yeah, here we go. So here Akmu. She's, oh my god. Her voice is angel. One of my favorite singer, yes.
Her career. Acting was everything she had, and it's what made her enjoy life. But here's the problem. Acting in general is an extremely intense career. And on top of that, you're doing it in a country that expects you to be perfect like an angel every single step of the way. You can't make mistakes.
My favorite song from them. Okay, I'm like... Lovely. Yes, Lovely is one of my favorite songs.
No matter who you are, this precious singles on top of that, you're doing it in a country that expects you to be perfect like an angel every single step of the way. You can't make mistakes.
For Korean, you know, you have to be perfect. No flaws. If you got flaw, then you are not wanted. All right.
Doesn't matter who you are. This pressure catches up to you one day or another. And when it does, if you don't have a support system, then you end up doing things that no one would ever want to do. So that means if you want to keep functioning as a regular human being, you have to start coping. And what do so many child actors do to cope? Substance abuse, drug addiction, alcoholism, or both. Macaulay Culkin, the star of the Home Alone movies, became addicted to drugs when he grew up. Demi Lovato shot up heroin for a long time. I mean, the list is endless. And this wasn't going to be any different for Sae-ron. The pressure had caught up to her, and it had reached its climax on the worst day of her life, the 18th of May, 2022.
What happened?
Look, Sae-ron really liked alcohol. But one day she overdid it dangerously.
Right, I know. You know, this incident where she drunk driving
wine glasses and decided to drive her car, endangering herself and everyone around her, and ended up crashing into a transformer. This is the footage right here. This is her car, and boom, right into the transformer. Ooh. This was already a really bad traffic violation, but it was made worse by the fact that 57 businesses couldn't continue operations because that transformer crash made them lose power. After the incident, it was found out that her blood alcohol level when she had driven into the transformer was 0.2%, far exceeding the limit of 0.08%. And so it was confirmed she was going to face trial after getting indicted because of this DUI incident. She had done one of the worst things you could ever do as a celebrity in South Korea: make a mistake and put others in danger because of that mistake as well. This is something that could have been controversial in the West as well, so it didn't look good. Shortly after, she posted a handwritten note on her Instagram saying that she made a big mistake by being drunk at that time, and that because of her wrong judgment and actions, she has hurt so many people, including the merchants and regular citizens. She gave her sincere apologies and said that the damage caused by the accident is currently being worked out with her and her agency. She also apologized to the production crews and the fellow actors and staff from her current projects because after this, they were all put on hold when it came to her roles in particular. This is because as soon as this incident happened, her agency dropped her, said they
Oh,
weren't going to
what the no way, they throw her under the bus. Okay, I was gonna say, like, usually this happen, and if she is in the middle of like acting or like concerts, usually they're gonna hold, guys. Yeah, she's an actress, right? So the most worst ending would be she's gonna get cancelled and her role's gonna get taken off. Right, yeah. Usually that's the case. So I'm guessing she got totally cancelled for it and never work again. So yes, I already can see what happened, the outcome of this, since she was in the middle of a project, right? Oh god.
the contract at the end of the year. She
Yeah.
immediately was dropped from the drama she was in called Trolley, as
I
well
knew
as
it.
the Netflix series Bloodhounds, where she was playing a fairly important role. Here's what the director of the show had to say. We tried
Wait,
our
isn't
best
this like one of the famous series? Right, Bloodhound. Okay, so she was a major character,
to
maybe?
minimize the actress' appearance to decrease the viewer's discomfort. We did our best to increase the quality of the drama while minimizing her appearance.
No
So
fucking
she
way.
was effectively deleted from the series. That's just how quick things move there. So
Holy-
as you can
yeah,
see,
yeah,
this was
yeah.
already a celebrity's worst nightmare. She had made a really stupid mistake. Driving under the influence is one of the worst things you can do as an adult. And she was
Yes.
greatly suffering the consequences, but it was only the beginning. Because as time went on, she was betrayed by her friends, by people she trusted, by her own agent, all because it was the trendy thing to do. And of course,
Oh
Lee
my
Jin-ho
god, yeah. The trend, bro. The trend hate trend. Oof.
was going to be the channel that would have every scoop on her while invading her private life with no shame. So, one of the first betrayals was her posting an Instagram story on her private Instagram account to her friends, inviting them to her birthday party, giving the date and time, and saying, "Bring yourself and alcohol." This was around 2 months after her DUI incident. So, naturally, people were assuming the worst. Oh, she's not cutting back on drinking. Oh, she's not even apologetic. So, the
Wow.
person who leaked this was a close friend of hers, and of course, Lee Jin-ho was the guy reporting on it. It didn't make her look good, but honestly, if we're going to be fair here, we don't even know if she was going to drink at the party. She could just be telling people to bring their own alcohol because she's not going to buy it for them. But that's not how the internet works, okay? People assume the worst immediately. And this was one of the first instances where her point of view, her side of the story, didn't even matter, all while her privacy was being completely breached. Regardless, her trial was about to begin and all eyes were on her. It ended up being anything but a normal day with multiple bombshells dropping at the same time. First things first, Sae-ron hired some of the best attorneys in the entire country. Something that's to be expected when you're a celebrity and have a lot of money. She was facing a fine of 20 million won, which is 15,000 USD. And during the trial, she said, "This will never happen again. I'm sorry. I regret my actions and I'm reflecting on them. I've quit drinking and sold my car. I'm the breadwinner of my family and it's been difficult for me to make ends meet. Please have
Ooh.
mercy on me." Her lawyers echoed the same thing, saying that she had to pay compensation to all the businesses that were affected and that she was struggling financially. So as of that moment, if you were on the internet, you would assume, okay, well, you're hiring a top tier law firm, or hell, even 2 law firms. You've been an actress your whole life and you're complaining about $15,000? Come on. How spoiled can someone be, right? But what was really confusing in all this was a leak that came out about her leading up to the first trial. And of course, it was none other than Lee Jin-ho again exposing to the world what it was, and it was the fact that a few months after the DUI incident, Sae-ron was working a part-time job. He had received these news from an acquaintance of hers, who of course stabbed her in the back just to get some clout. But even that acquaintance didn't know exactly where she was working because she was keeping it the utmost secret, and it's clear why. But that didn't stop the rumors from circulating. Oh my god, she already fell off so quickly? Wow, how the mighty have fallen, from renowned actress to some part-time job worker. The Korean netizens were
The thing is, right, like, she's doing an honest job, just working like everyone else. Why is that it's like a crime or something for these people? Like, oh my gosh, she fallen off so fast. What the fuck, girl? What? She's trying to earn money like everyone else. She can't even work anymore because she got cancelled online. What is wrong with people? I don't get it. What the fuck?
feasting on these news. Even her own agency, a month before dropping her, had confirmed that yes, she was working a part-time job at a
Yeah, God forbid people like working in part-time job. Like she's not robbing though. Like she's just working. Why is that something to criticize? I don't get it. Like these people are like brain dead, bro. And I feel bad that she has bad luck with making friends. You know, she keep getting backstabbing, information leaked by her acquaintance. Very obviously, they are not her friends. So yeah, that's too bad. That's so sad.
Cafe. Now, what would you think if someone who used to be a big celebrity was working part-time in a cafe? It's interesting, no? It's better than going on TikTok or going on YouTube or starting a Patreon and begging for money just for existing.
Interesting. It's a gossip worth tea, I guess. But is it like a crime? No. Just let them work. Yo.
Like many others
Don't
have
harass
done before
them.
when they lost opportunities. But at this point, what you have to understand is that she could do nothing to redeem herself. She had already gone from idol to demon. Look at some of the comments on this article. I don't feel
Demon. Oh my god. Man, Korean people is so crazy, man. I don't feel sorry for her. This is merely the consequences of her own action, which were selfish, irresponsible, and reckless. What she's doing now is literally the bare minimum. I get it. Alright, drunk driving is the worst, right? Like irresponsible. The worst possible result was she may ran over people and taken their life, right? There will be a murder. But she just, in the end, she's trying to repay, the fees. So, trying to work. Just don't harass her in real life. Come on. There were people directed some blame to her celebrity friends. What? They blame her for not saying shit when things happen. It's so funny. Like usually they will like blame others for not speaking out, like moral superior or something. And like the right thing to do is to speak up with your position. Like, what if I don't know shit then? What? What if I don't know shit and then I say something wrong? Then I'm gonna get shit on. What?
sorry for her. This is merely the consequence of her own actions, which were selfish, irresponsible, and reckless. What she's doing now is literally the bare minimum. I love her, but I don't like the way she or the company is going. I could be completely wrong, but seeing as how the company just confirmed the rumor easily, it just seems to me like a marketing strategy for people to look at her with sorry at the thought.
Marketing
so if she's
strategy.
trying to get a regular job, it's a PR move. And even if it wasn't, it's what she deserves. Of course, there's someone here defending her saying, come on, dude, like, are we going to stop her from getting any sort of job now? But you get the point. In any case, it wasn't like she wanted people to know that she was working a part-time job. It was leaked from someone she thought she trusted. But this didn't matter. To people, this was nothing more than marketing because obviously she's rich as hell. She had shown off her luxury apartment on a TV show at some point, which is in one of the richest.
The apartment Kim Sae-ron shared with her little sister was reportedly to be a unit inside Seoul Forest. The shop. Okay, so right.
Areas in Seoul, with people estimating that it costs around 1.6 million USD,
Whoa.
while also bearing in mind that the car she was driving during the DUI cost around $75,000 USD. So come on, struggling for money? Who are you kidding here? You can just sell your apartment and live like a queen for the rest of your life. She was effortlessly just getting hated more and more as time went on, and she didn't even have to do anything. But then she did, and it made things 1,000 times worse. A few months after these rumors of her having a part-time job started circulating, around the time the first trial was taking place, on her Instagram story she posted pictures of her wearing a well-renowned cafe's uniform. The cafe being called Mega Coffee. The lawyers really wanted to push the idea that she was struggling financially to get leniency in the trial.
Oh, she's the one post the photo herself? Okay.
They had this brilliant idea of her doing this. But then a disaster ruined all these plans because no one was expecting that Mega Coffee almost immediately called her out after these pictures were released, saying that we can confirm that Kim Sae-ron has never worked as an official part-timer.
I'm not real, guys. I'm AI. Remember? Okay, what does the cafe say?
Saying that we can confirm that Kim Sae-ron has never worked as an official part-timer employee at any store in the country. The store owner of the location in question has a part-time employee who is friends with Kim Sae-ron. However, the owner stated that Kim Sae-ron herself never worked as an employee there. That was really bad. Now people were convinced She was faking
Wait,
it. She was trying to
she's
garner
not
sympathy when
working
she
there,
was,
really?
in fact, a millionaire. Typical. 3 days later, her lawyers reiterated in an interview she is working a part-time job due to financial hardship, and also specified that the apartment that everyone was talking about that cost 1.6 million USD was not hers. It belonged to her former agency. The lawyer even went further, saying this: the penalty for the drunk driving incident is already significant and it has caused her to take on lots of debts. The income Kim Sae-ron has earned so far has been spent entirely on her parents' business and her family's living expenses. But who cares? By that time, it was too late. She was already a full-fledged demon and there was nothing on this planet that could redeem her. The Korean netizens' reactions were very negative.
Drunk driving. Demon. Because you're rich. You bitch. Yeah, basically, guys. And they don't even know her finances. What the fuck?
Does she really think the public
Seriously?
is stupid? Lol. So what? If you don't have money, then you should have a part-time
Okay,
job.
guys,
Why
I'm not justifying like drunk driving. Okay, just saying drunk driving is bad, alright? Because you could basically put everyone on the road danger. So
is she making such a big deal?
they are making her like worse than Song-ri. Now I can say his name from Big Bang. The guy that, you guys want to know who's he? Just search Burning Sun. He's the owner or like part of the owner. This case is like they are making her worse than him. What the fuck?
About it. Are you cosplaying as a normal person? Working a normal part-time job in your mid-20s doesn't mean you're facing
Insane.
financial hardship. I'm sure she's making easy money now. What financial hardship? Does she not have good adults around her? It feels like she's constantly self-sabotaging herself, and that's how most people viewed her at this point. She couldn't stop self-sabotaging. A month later, the verdict was announced. She had to pay $15,000. She was guilty. The fine wasn't higher because she had done her utmost best to compensate the victims, and she was a first-time offender. It was actually the amount that her and her lawyers were looking for. It risked being way higher than that. And she clarified, I didn't complain about financial difficulties, but it is true that I did work part-time. Also, it is true that the penalty is high. She then said, I will never—
What did the cafe say? She didn't work there then? Less than drunk driving, smoking, etc. Yeah. Smoking, especially tattoo, by the way. And tattoo, yeah. If you tattoo your body, ooh, like, you're broken. Bruh, really? Seriously? No fucking way. It's not real, man.
let this happen again. I'm sorry. One of the top comments on this article says, so she's a gaslighter now, referencing what she had said in her first hearing while she was the main
Gaslighter.
breadwinner and saying that she had financial difficulties, and now saying that, well, she never said that. Her reputation could not for a second just catch a breath. Soon enough, the only content you could find about Sae-ron were things like this: how once beloved actress Kim Sae-ron fell from grace, why K-dramas won't cast Kim Sae-ron anymore with the thumbnail ruined her own career. It was official. The obsession of praising her had fully transitioned into an obsession of hating her. But the downward spiral did not stop there. This was it. Anything and everything she could ever do from this point on was seen negatively. Here's a great example of why the BBC chose to call this a Squid Game scenario, okay? At some point, Sae-ron was out playing Texas Hold'em poker with, well, people she thought were her friends. This was in a pub, and you use the chips to buy food or drinks, right? This isn't illegal gambling or anything.
Another one, hang out with her friend. Then she thought they're her friend. And then they snap a private photo of her and then like rat her out.
One of her so-called friends had taken
Another
multiple
one.
very close-up pictures of her while she was enjoying her night. Then this person proceeded to sell them to this tabloid by the name of Dispatch. for
Oh
a
my
quick
god, Dispatch is one of the famous like paparazzi, I guess. Is that it?
buck.
Yeah,
How did
drama.
netizens spin this? Well, they had two main conclusions from these pictures. The first one is, how is she facing financial difficulties if she's playing Texas Hold'em poker, typical liar? And the second is, how is she having a hard time in life when she's smiling? Yeah, it's that black and white. If you're smiling in a picture, it means you're having a good time in life and nothing is wrong. Yeah, that's how life
What
works,
the
apparently.
fuck?
Now, unsurprisingly, some people reacted with things like, I thought she was struggling financially, or I knew it. She's not actually struggling financially. I mean, she's playing a Texas Hold'em poker game. She's a millionaire. But surprisingly, many others were supportive at her insane breach of privacy here. One netizen said, it gives me goosebumps how the pictures were taken so close. Looks like one of her friends took those pictures. Does she have no proper friends at all? These pictures were sold to Dispatch. Isn't this her privacy? It's giving
Yeah.
me goosebumps. But unfortunately,
This says a lot about her friends. Nah.
In the grand scheme of things, that didn't matter because Dispatch was pushing its own narrative. Here's what they had to say. It isn't an issue that Kim Sae-ron enjoys playing Hold'em, but her appearance at the poker table touching her chips seem inconsistent with her claims that she is facing financial hardship. According to the informant, who was obviously a friend who stabbed her in the back, Kim Sae-ron charged her chips more than once. She also ordered a beer at around 12 a.m. She is alleged to have played for over 3 hours. So even going out to play with people you think are friends is enough to cause such a stir. What kind of life is this? I truly wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. At the same time, of course, Jin-ho had made multiple videos on her and had made a video about the fact that she was playing Texas Hold'em poker. And as she was dealing with the fact that she was absolutely betrayed by someone in her inner circle, another really stupid controversy arose as well. She had posted this picture on her Instagram with the actor Kim Sae-ron.
Wait, yeah, this guy is famous actor. What? Kim Sae-ron? I think he's the guy from like Sing Sing the My friend loved that series. My Love from the Stars, yeah.
And just these cheeks touching was regarded by netizens as skinship. And they were absolutely outraged at the fact that she could be dating him. So his agency immediately put out a statement saying, guys, we can confirm he is not in a relationship. And we will pursue legal action against anyone making up rumors.
Oh my
God.
God.
Can this woman catch a break? She can't even post a picture? Things were getting ridiculous. But still, according to Sae-ron and her acquaintances, she was not giving up, which was very admirable. At this point, she had gone on a hiatus for a couple of years. It was 2024. And she was getting ready to get back into acting. She was going to star in a play called Dongchimi. But here's the thing. At a certain point, as we got closer to 2025, she started posting cryptic Instagram stories. People didn't really know what to think of them. And her last post on Instagram was this picture right here on January 18th with the caption, Blue Heart. Around a month later, on February 17th, she was meant to meet up with a friend. Her friend noticed that she was being unresponsive. She went to her apartment, and that was when she found her. Bringing us back full circle to the article from the BBC calling this the real-life Squid Game. But what's the logic behind calling it that? Well, it's because it was said by a psychiatry professor at Yale University by the name of Na Jung-ho. He likened the frequency of celebrity deaths in South Korea to a real-life version of Squid Game, saying, our society abandons those who stumble and moves on as if nothing happened. How many more lives must be lost before we stop inflicting this destructive, suffocating shame on people? Drunk driving is a big mistake. There would be a problem with our legal system if that goes unpunished. However, a society that buries people who make mistakes without giving them a second chance is not a healthy one. As soon as you make one
so true,
mistake,
Professor.
as soon as this
Actually
fantasy
speaking
centered
facts
around your idol image gets cracked just a little bit, people leave you behind to die if necessary. And that's exactly what's been happening forever in South Korea. The real tragedy in all this is that most of her suffering came from things that weren't confirmed. They were assumptions. It's only after her death and around her funeral, which was 2 days after her passing, that we started to finally get confirmation on the real news that were happening behind the scenes during her life.
After that, now guys, we have to clear her name, yeah? Because if not, then we're gonna be the bad guys. Basically, you know? Like, I keep getting this feeling like repeated. Like, oh my god, so tragedy. Now we have to find the truth. What happened to her? To the victim? And they already died, yeah? Because if they don't find the truth, they're gonna be painted as the bad guy that bullied them to death.
For example, we got confirmation that she was indeed suffering from financial difficulties and that she was going through severe depression.
Well,
and honestly,
finally,
I'm not surprised. She had accrued debts of over 486,000 USD before her death. That's because she had visited every single store out of the 57 stores she had impacted with the destruction of the Transformer and given them compensation. She didn't have the cash available on hand. I mean, who the hell has 500,000 liquid dollars in their bank? So she had to get indebted to her agency. But don't worry, because things are about to get way more tragic. On the day of her funeral, a reporter by the name of Choi Jung-ah revealed to us that just like everyone else, she also was biased against Sae-ron, saying, I saw an article claiming that Kim Sae-ron wasn't really working but exaggerating her financial troubles, so I also had some prejudices. Then by chance, she visited a cafe with a friend in Seoul. Her friend remarked that the very motivated worker there kind of looked like Sae-ron, and that's when the reporter actually realized, wait a second, that's actually her. After this realization, the reporter admitted, "I felt ashamed of the prejudices I had about her." She then left her a note with her business card writing, "I was one of the people who misunderstood after reading the article and I'm really sorry. I want to apologize on behalf of the current articles and I hope that we can meet again under better circumstances and conduct an interview for a movie." Movie might just be a bad translation for a video, but you get the point. The cafe owner later contacted the reporter and said, "Kim Sae-ron went up to the rooftop and cried for a long time after reading your note." And that was the last time she was ever in contact with her. They never did the interview. This obviously frustrated a lot of people. Why are you only revealing this on the day of her funeral? So we can 100% confirm she was actually working a part.
Yeah, why? On her funeral after she died. Now you only say this? Really? The reporter? Seriously? Yeah. Not when people, all the people hating on her and dunk on her. I see.
Time job. Her decision not to reveal where exactly might be related to the
The
fact
reporter
that she
could
didn't
have
want
saved
the
her, just saying.
business she was working for to receive any hate. Her lawyers really wanted to push the fact that she was struggling financially, so they encouraged her to post pictures of her in a uniform at Mega Coffee, even though she didn't actually work there. They just didn't expect that Mega Coffee would come in so quickly and deny the fact that she works there because they didn't want bad PR. If they had said nothing, people would assume she was working there and they would maybe even boycott Mega Coffee because they hated Sae-ron so much. What's even crazier and more tragic in all this is the fact that she was actually constantly looking for new part-time jobs to work. But she'd be constantly getting refused purely because of who she was.
I heard
So
about
she was
this.
actually in the process of changing her name just so that she can work other jobs. She wasn't just blacklisted from acting, she was blacklisted from society. I mean, how crazy is this? Just for perspective, the head of the opposition party in South Korean politics and the man most likely to become the next president also has a pretty damn bad DUI. Where does this society draw the line? I don't understand. The fate of these celebrities
Because he's a man. Alright, South Korea is very sexist. He's a man, so he can do it, yeah. If a woman, ooh.
is usually defined by the
You
media
broke the image of goddess, so no.
coverage. They are to
Death
blame, just like the
sentence.
toxic netizens. During Sae-ron's funeral, her father made a very rare public appearance and spoke to reporters telling them that he believes one of the main reasons why Sae-ron took her own life was because of one particular YouTuber who caused her so much emotional anguish. Her father was referring to none other, of course, than Jin-ho. And to make matters worse, very shortly after she passed away, he removed every single video he had ever made about her. He of course received backlash because why would you? If you didn't feel guilty, why would you do that? He then went ahead and streamed for an hour addressing this. And obviously, as you can tell by the dislikes, people
Is he
weren't
gonna
too
say,
happy with
he's
this.
sorry?
He started off the live stream by offering his condolences, saying, "I cannot begin to imagine the pain her family is going through. The situation has really saddened me as well. I sincerely wish for the late Kim Sae-ron to rest
This saddened me as well. Oh, I got the latest news about her. Let's rat her out.
in peace," but then refuted the allegations that he had harassed her while she was still alive, calling such claims baseless, saying that "I have enough evidence to counter these accusations." He continued by saying that the videos he made about her were carefully reviewed before being published, saying, "I only uploaded content after verifying it with her acquaintances and agency representatives." To support his claim, he released an audio recording of a conversation he had with Sae-ron's last manager. The manager said, "The claim that you tormented Kim Sae-ron is completely untrue." In this same conversation, you could hear Jin-ho say, "For 2 years, we shared the sentiment that while Kim Sae-ron had made mistakes, she still needed a means to support herself. She should be given a chance to continue some form of work." He argued that this was the motivation behind his videos discussing Kim's financial struggles, including her part-time job at a cafe in Seongsu-dong in Seoul and her tutoring of aspiring actors as a form of volunteer work. He then said that at some point he had discussions with the agency of Sae-ron to give her an interview because she had an urgent need for a career comeback, specifying her agency was actively involved in these discussions and I incorporated their input into my videos. And now here's the best part, okay? After being dropped from her first agency, Sae-ron
You think she would appear in a channel that keep doxing her? What is he talking about? He's like, I gave her a chance to get interview with me to make a comeback in her career. What the fuck is he saying? His channel is doxing her, shit talking her. What? Huh? Who would go to your channel, dude? What is he talking about? He's saying he's a savior or something.
stealthily signed with another agency a couple years later while getting ready for her comeback. Here's what he had to say about it, okay? He said, "I knew that revealing Kim Sae-ron had signed with an agency would provoke public criticism. The media had been scrutinizing every aspect of her life, and I genuinely wanted her to be given another chance. That's why I deliberately refrained from covering any unfavorable aspects regarding her." Bro, I have never in my entire life seen someone more delusional than this idiot. He's making this all seem like he was doing her a favor when he was leaking things that no one had known about her without her consent while completely breaching her privacy.
Yeah.
One of the top comments.
And they'd be like, "I'm not harassing her. I'm just providing facts." What are you talking about?
Livestream calls this out directly. Some of the titles he used were ridiculous, like "The Two Faces of Kim Sae-ron, the final hardships of a part-time worker's life," or "Kim Sae-ron has taken a selfie again. Did she disappear after marriage rumors? I contacted her directly." And when he contacted her, the number said it doesn't exist, so he was just calling her number without her knowing he had her number. He also was using her manager as a way for him to justify his actions, but here's the thing. You had her manager's approval, you had her agency's approval, you had her friends and acquaintances who leaked things about her and their approval, but when did she ever approve anything?
Oh my god, Mujin, let's go. Yeah. Bro, doxing the person and be like, I got, the person I dox, friends approval, people around her approval, yeah, dox her, but
she ever given a choice. Everyone was playing with her life like a Barbie doll, and she never was able to say yes or no to anything.
Anything that's not harassment?
All they want, but at the end of the day, they have blood on their hands. But of course, the question on everyone's minds right now is this going to lead to meaningful change in South Korea's celebrity culture?
Nah.
Well, no. Some K-pop stans are already ready to start waging war on yet another celebrity, blaming him for the death of Sae-ron because she just so happened to die on his birthday. Like, dude, come on, just please.
What? Wait, what? I have to hear that again. What did he say? What?
Pop stans are already ready to start waging war on
Kim So-hyun is the guy, no? The guy that I searched just now. Yeah. The guy she selfie with. Count your days. There's a nude somewhere. Okay. What did he say just now?
Yet another celebrity, blaming him for the death of Sae-ron because she just so happened to die on his birthday. Like, dude, come on, just please make this make sense. No fucking way. Do you want him to die too? It's so weird, man. It's almost comical if we weren't actually dealing with people's real lives. As it stands, the final piece of Kim Sae-ron's legacy is a film she's already filmed.
So, Kim Sae-ron had a selfie with Kim So-hyun, and this just so happened she died on the day of his birthday. And now everyone is blaming on him. Like, oh my god, guys, it's definitely the guy. That's why we have to bully him now. Is that it?
Before that's going to release in the second half of 2025. Its title is Every Day We Are, and I'm sure it'll do good because dead actors typically sell more tickets than the ones who are alive. Overall, I think this story is very tragic because for the majority of it, Sae-ron never was able to give any form of consent to the information that was being leaked about her, whether from her lawyers, her acquaintances, her friends, whatever. She was betrayed by people she thought she could trust every step of the way, and the public feasted on it, already making up their minds about what kind of person she is. She was never able to set the record straight, and unfortunately, it's because she understood at a very early age, when she was 13, that it wouldn't have mattered. And because of that, we lost yet another South Korean celebrity. I hope that she can rest in peace, and I hope that she's the final casualty of this very weird culture. But as it stands right now, the way I see it, 2025 is going to be filled with cases like this. That's just how things go in South Korea. It's just one big game of Squid Game.
Yeah,
where as soon as you make a mistake,
no way it's going to end.
And you die. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that is. Please stay safe, and I love you. Mwah.
Hey, thanks for the video, Mujin. Summarized everything. Jin-ho, this is the guy. I really want to see you succeed in your career. Anyway, I like a picture of you sleeping yesterday, yeah? What the fuck is he on, bro? This guy is not real, man. South Korea. Their logic. Everyone just throw her under the bus. So weird that during her funeral, there's a reporter saying like, oh, actually, I saw her working. Like, it's legit, yeah. Yo, why didn't you write an article about that then? Why after she died? The double standards in South Korea are wild. There are multiple celebrities convicted of sexual crimes, roaming free with a slap on the wrist. Yes. Meanwhile, dating and or falling off a scooter is enough to harass someone to death. I still can't believe, this Burning Sun incident. Songri, the guy, when his dirty deed get out, there's still people in the comments saying like, oh, he's still young, he's still learning. Like, what the fuck is he learning? He's a grown-ass adult. What are they talking about? And drunk driving here is bad. Yes, of course.